This is how crazy the housing market is right now and what people are willing to do to sacrifice to get a roof over their head. I haven't seen anything like this ever before in all of my professional years being in real estate. How crazy the market is right now for people to just get a rooftop over their head. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're sitting back questioning whether you should or should not be investing in real estate, you might want to listen to absolutely everything that I talk about in this video today. Now look, right now, ladies and gentlemen, one of the number one things that people look for when they're buying a home or a place to live is safety. That's the number one greatest reason why people move, is to find a safer place to live. Now, in spite of that, Redfin just hosted a nationwide study, and what they found out is that the vast majority of people that once sought after safety are now otherwise looking for homes in areas and need a roof more so than they need safety. Over 25% of the Gen Z population would sacrifice safety for just a place to live. Nationally, over 17.3% of all adults in living age to have their own homes over the age of 18 would sacrifice safety over having a place to live. Now look, ladies and gentlemen, this is crazy because the number one reason most people will move is for safety, but yet they'll compromise safety just to get a rooftop over their head. Followed in number two for locations that have access to hospitals, schools, restaurants, yes, bars, and coffee shops. That's the number two reason why people will move. Now, the way this breaks down demographically is 18.1% are millennials that would otherwise sacrifice the place to live and take unsafe, unbearable place to live over just getting a rooftop over their head. Now, 17.5% of Gen X and only 5.5% of boomers, which makes sense, right? Like mom and dad, older population now that are in their 60s, 70s, and 80s aren't going to sacrifice safety, or less so, unless they're in a very compromised financial position where they just need a place to live. But most young adults would rather just get a rooftop over their head than otherwise live in a safe neighborhood. And so it's crazy. So listen, that's just the tip of the iceberg. One of the big things, guys, is we are moving now towards the renters nation that we had been talking about for the last 5 to 7 years. And it's the America, and it's the way that they're talking about the new world order and where things are going. Own nothing, have no worries, have no stress, and let us own everything for you, right? You guys ever looked at the New World Order and what's happening with the New World Order? It's like own nothing, have no stress, live like kumbaya, right? By the fireplace and just sing kumbaya and just all is good. And here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, now today, we are up 1.9% year over year on renters. In the second quarter, we broke records of over 45.2 million renters. No other record. It beats and trumps the 2021 renters increase that we saw post-pandemic, and it's over the national growth of new home buyers, which is up 0.6% and constitutes for 86.3 million of the new mortgages and new home payments that are contributed to the United States right now. So when you look at how rents have been affected by the pandemic and where we are today, and you compare it to how mortgages have been affected and where they are today, listen to the affordability component, because I know there's a lot of arguments out there as to whether everything is unaffordable and which is the most affordable place to put your money. And when you look at it from a dollar to dollar perspective, when you look at inflation, rent growth versus the cost of mortgages, listen to how this has been affected nationwide. Now look, rents are up, no doubt about it. But when you look at the pre-pandemic 2019 numbers to where we are today, rents are up approximately 23% nationwide. That's a lot. But when you compare it to mortgages and mortgage rates, and you look at the 2019 pre-pandemic mortgage rates and the average median mortgage nationwide compared to today, the average median mortgage is up over 90% from 2019 to today. And now, look, ladies and gentlemen, I sit back and I tell you guys, in spite of what's happening, one of the biggest reasons why rents are only up 23% is because of the amount of multifamily that has been built over the last 5 years. And so I tell you guys, we are still in over a 7 million rooftop deficit of affordable housing. That's not all housing. That's just affordable housing. Workforce housing, low-income housing, attainable housing, just normal median rooftops. We are 7 million rooftops short right now today. Now, when we look at that, and that's according to the U.S. Economic Forum. So if you go back in and you look at the U.S. Economic Forum and you look at the data that they've produced in April of 2024, they're telling us that we are 7 million rooftops short in the affordable sector only. And so this is an issue, and I'll tell you guys that right now is the time to capitalize on it. And I've said this many times. You've probably heard it in one of my videos before, and one of my mentors years ago, Bill, told me, he said, Jerome, if you find a problem so big that and you find a solution to that problem, you will amass fortunes greater than you ever thought possible. And the reason right now that affordable housing is so important for us to jump on the bandwagon and solve the affordable housing crisis is because, one, we're going to make a massive impact in what's happening on this earth right now with housing. It's one of the most sought after topics in Congress right now is how do we conquer the affordability crisis for the average U.S. American person. Mortgages and rooftops, ladies and gentlemen, is the number one largest expense that people have on a monthly basis. And so if you could go in and you can solve this crisis, you're going to amass fortunes. Now, can one person do this alone single-handedly? No. That's why it takes a nationwide effort. Why do I go out and advocate for what we're doing right now? It's because I have no competition, ladies and gentlemen. You coming in on board doesn't give me any competition. There is such a massive need. Even if we as U.S. American builders all did everything 100% perfect to be able to go out and conquer affordability in housing, it would take us a minimum of 5 years to even just come to an even market pool. And with that said, there is no way that we will all be in alignment to do everything perfect because we are imperfect humans. So what that means is that we have over a decade. Even if we screw things up, we have over a decade to be able to go out and put a financial dent in the affordable housing market sector, and you have the opportunity to profit from it. Now look, ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the greatest opportunities that you'll have as a U.S. American individual. Embrace it. It isn't the time to go out and become an accountant or a doctor, attorney, or something else. Do we need them? Yes. Do we encourage you to go do that? If that's what you want to do, yes. But what I'm telling you guys is for the vast majority of you that are confused in how you want to proceed in the direction of your financial career, real estate and ground-up construction is one of the number one most sought-after areas that you need to be paying attention to. Those of you guys that want to go into the trades, to go out and get into mechanical and HVAC, plumbing, and the lumber framing union, these right now are great trades to be able to go into and have a great living. It's not like the doctors are the only ones getting paid now, ladies and gentlemen. The insurance companies own and control the medical industry. Those are the folks making the money, not the physicians. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the tradesmen today that are making more money than these folks coming out of an 8-year and 10-year college degree that they're coming in and they're generating larger revenue from. And it's because the housing market right now is in distress because there's not enough rooftops nationwide. Just look at the data. Pay attention to what's happening and focus on a long-term solution. Ladies and gentlemen, the 3 largest city with the highest rents right now that you want to stay away from is LA, San Diego, and New York. No news there. Now, the 3 cities with the lowest rents, where there's going to be massive upside, is Worcester, Massachusetts, Northport, Florida, and Albany, New York. Beautiful places to live, low rents, and still a lot of upside opportunity in those areas. Look around those areas and position yourself to win financially. The time is now, ladies and gentlemen. It is a sprint to the finish line. When mortgage rates and interest rates start to go down post-election, the market will open floodgates. People on election years are always conservative. The second that the elections are done, in spite of whoever wins, Democrat or Republican, people's spending habits are to go back out into the market almost immediately post-election. Ladies and gentlemen, the time is now. Pay attention to what you're doing. Learn how to underwrite. Learn how to get into the ground-up game. Learn to invest. And right now is a time for massive profits. For more information, more topics just like this, click and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Pound that thumbs up button. And ladies and gentlemen, you guys go out there and compound your success.